wanted to meet Portia at my rental property today because under no circumstances will I invite a woman who says she'll my husband to my home.
Sorry.
She doesn't want to be looked at as Portia's lapdog. I'm sorry.
Girl, bye. Bye. Get out. Get out. Get out.
And Angela said that Portia was in tears about you. Oh.
Close your eyes. Do that. I don't feel comfortable doing that. And I don't feel peace. Not especially not right by the person that's not bringing me peace.
Girl, shut the fuck up. You thought
That allegedly brought her tears yesterday. It has not been communicated to me.
Get it out, Shamia.
About Portia, I shut it down. How about not? You definitely tell her. But it's not reciprocated.
How is it not reciprocated?
Think that too? I mean, you're close to both of them.
Supposed to be a safe space to have a conversation. So, months or a month or two prior to her actual wedding, we were not speaking. I've apologized.
You 1 second. You did not tell me that. You told me. How did y'all become so close to where you can now allow our friendship to be talked about with someone that you just were at odds with?
What's up, y'all? It's Brian Keith, and I'm back with another video. And today we're gonna talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And when it comes to Shamia and Portia, I'm always gonna be on Shamia's side when it comes to the whole situation with Portia. However, Shamia, the beginning of this episode, you made yourself look dumb when it comes to the end, because your motives were to support your friend Portia just for the end, for her to really throw you under the bus. But y'all like and subscribe. Let's get into the video.
Yeah, let me check my shit real quick. Hotter than the fire coming out my flaming lips. You wanna play with me? You can't play in me. On the playground, bitch, you can't play with me. Got it, won it, securing the bag.
I'm watching Atlanta, right? And Shamia, you disappoint me. Cause I wanna blame Portia so bad for meeting up with Ralph, but I can't, because bitch, you did it. And my whole thing is, what if Drew would have met up with your husband for drinks, and then she asks your husband, oh, why do the girls call Shamia Shamina? You know, it's just one of those things where it's like, when you cross the line, you then can't tell me I can't cross it with you. You can't be like, oh, well, you know, I crossed the line, but you can't come with me. No. Like I keep saying time and time again, I'm the type of person, I'm happy I'm not in these situations, because I am really an eye for an eye type of bitch. I'm trying to work on it in therapy. I just talked about it a few days ago with my therapist. Like, girl, something happened to me at work. I want to get my lip back. She like, well, what would that do? I was like, it will help make me feel better. Honestly, truly. But bitch, Shamia, you pissed me off even more, because I want to blame Portia, but I fucking can't.
Hey, good to see you.
So like I said, the episode opens up where we see Shamia goes to, we see Ralph. We see Ralph at lunch. And he's over here just sitting, doing his thing. Bitch, why did Shamia come in like, hey friend, what's up, brother? Okay. I'm already looking at her like sideways. I'm like, girl, like, why are we sitting with Ralph? But she's like, well, a lot of people don't know that me and Ralph has a podcast together. We do business together, so it's just one of our things. I just saw one of the clips. Drew's like, he got a podcast? Like, okay, to each his own. No, but I'm just looking at Shamia like, girl, there should be no reason for you to really want to converse with this man in the sense of what's going on with you and Drew. That's none of your business. And you're I'm trying to get to the root of the situation because I support my friend. And you want to over here go around with another man. Why would you? And I'm looking at Shamia like, bitch, I'm looking at Shamia like, this is what Angela's saying. You as a married woman, you would think that there would be some type of code or some type of conduct that people will have. But I just look at her just like, girl, it's messy. So she just, well, I just want to be a facilitator, in this situation. Portia walks in.
Well, hello. How are you?
Doing well in yourself?
Good. Okay, so let's get some context. I want to clear this up, okay? I'm not hanging with Ralph.
And Shamia, I can't be mad at Portia. I cannot be mad at Portia. Because Portia was like, well, I came here. I did not know he was going to be here. But, girl, I'm here to get food. So it is what it is. So it turns from, a casual convo, Drew sprinkled in there, to now all about Drew. And then she's like, well, Ralph said that Ralph is over here giving his POV, like, yeah, you know, Drew, she's just the type of person that, you know, I never, like, knew this side of her. You know, I fell in love with her so quick. And then they're like, well, you know, she brought up my fucking child. And he's like, you know, that is crazy. My kids are everything. My kids are everything.
That's very disrespectful, though. The only thing I care about is my kids. I just want to make sure my kids are healthy.
Only thing I care about is my kids. Only thing I care about is my kids. Ralph, please get the fuck out my face. Because if you cared about your kids so much, you wouldn't be on this TV show embarrassing their mother. The fuck? Like this one thing I told my dad one time. It's just like, how can you say you're a good dad when you disrespect my mother? So you can't say that you're a good. Only thing I care about my kids. No, you don't. If you care about your kids so motherfucking much, you would not be on the show slandering their mother. Because at one point they're going to see this and see big teeth Portia and annoying ass Shamia, even though Shamia did look gorgeous, might I add. Shamia, I just feel like you gonna look dumb as fuck. And then after the clip I saw of you over here, girl, you gonna look dumb. First of all, y'all, this gonna happen. Like, I just think it's messy. And Portia just like, well, has Drew cheated? He was like, yeah, Drew cheated with Ty. So we see little flashbacks, you know, try to lose the fact that Drew cheated with Ty. And she was like, well, have you sniffed a woman? And I'm like, Portia, are you trying to see what's going on with Ralph? I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. Ralph is, you know, I get it. But, girl, you're married. I mean, I haven't stopped you before now. But then Portia's like, well, you know, on my phone, Dennis sent me that, you know, Drew tried to fuck him. He's like, really? What? Mind you, this is all speculation. But this conversation wouldn't have taken place if Shamia didn't organize it together. So Shamia, at this point, it's your fault. It's your fault. So when Drew come for you at the reunion, that's you. Messy as fuck. But it already starts planting the little seeds of, you know, we see like a little tiff between Shamia and Portia.
She's saying to you, hold you accountable. No, she's saying to you, hold yourself accountable. Says, oh, everybody's mad at me because of you and you and you. Like, that's not it. Extra, but okay. Oh.
And I'm like, oh. Oh. I'm like, okay, I see where this episode's going, right? So we segue over and we see Angela at one of her investment properties. She has 5 that she's trying to get rid of. She says she's $2 million in debt. And I'm like, oh my God. Girl, fall for bankruptcy. But no, she has the property that she's trying to sell. The one that she is in now. I mean, mind you, from my childhood home that my dad and my stepmom have, it's a beautiful home. I can't really say anything because I've never lived in a mansion before. I lived in a 6-bedroom house, you know, like 3,000 square feet, but that's not a mansion. So I'm just like, I mean, it's 7,000 square feet. I mean, it looks like a beautiful house. There's some things that, you know, could be upgraded to more of a modern time, but I mean, somebody will buy it, hopefully. So Kelly comes in and, you know, Kelly's just like, you know, I brought wine, champagne because, you know, I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to be very, you know, welcoming and just, you know, cordial with her because she's like, Angela, she one of them. Angela, she's like, I'm not trying to be on her bad side. I'm not trying to get her to rip and run me, tear me apart. Because, you know, Kelly has stuff to say at, oh, what about them babies? What about them babies? Like, same thing with Shamia, Kelly. You co-sign something your friend is saying and you just going off a hearsay. Go to the horse and see what's going on. So, you know, they go do a view on the property. Woo, 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 woo. They sit down and, you know, Angela tells Kelly, like, you know, I'm happy that, you know, we're here. And Kelly's just like, yeah, I'm definitely happy that we're here too. We can finally talk, you know, and really, like, you know, see eye to eye about some things. And Angela's like, yeah, definitely, because you had stuff to say about, you know, a baby. What's going on with that? She's like,
Well, you know, Angela, I apologize. I apologize.
Angela's got these girls shook. Even Portia talking about, I'm trying to be on her good side. I like her. She's a bad bitch. But Angela, she just like, yeah, you know, you said some things about my husband. She was like, one, this whole situation happened with the whole Wendy Williams thing when Wendy said that I came out and was like, oh, you should stay with the man that cheated. She was like, I was talking about my oldest daughter's father, not Charles. And it twisted to, you know, being Charles. And she was like, this is a whole scandal thing that people just running with this lie. And it's not the truth. And they're like, okay, cool. So Angela then is like, well, you know, I'm going to meet up with Portia. But, you know, I also talked to Shamia. And Shamia has some things to say about Portia.
Shamia said she had some issues with Portia. I don't think Portia really truly wanted her to be a part of her. Are you serious?
Just saying that she feels like she's in Portia's shadow. She's Portia's lapdog. Drew co-signed that as well. And she just like, yeah, you know, she feels like Portia should have came to her wedding and she never did. And we have to, y'all, we have to give Rodney the Voice his flowers, because he even said that Shamia brought this up at Watch What Happens Live. She was like, y'all brought up this whole situation about that Phaedra said. And she was like, I was engaged. That y'all could have ruined my engagement.
It was like, well, damn. I mean,
Yes.
y'all could have ruined my engagement to my husband.
Right.
You and my, best friend. That's my friend.
Right.
Rodney said that. It's just like, and my whole thing with Portia is, it do feel like Portia has been envious and jealous of the fact that Shamia got with her husband, and Portia didn't come to the wedding in Kenya. There was no reason for her not. She was like, well, we were in a cool place. Well, bitch, it's a one-sided beef. We're gonna get to it. Let me stop skipping ahead. But that already planted the seeds with Angela bringing up that Kelly, she gonna go back to Shamia because Angela knows that Shamia cool. Shamia ain't cool right now, so right. So with that being said, we segue over and we see Britt and her husband. And Britt's like, yeah, we really gotta get things together. And my mother's coming, and it's gonna be such a thing. We can't walk around naked anymore. It's gonna be one of those things. I'm like, girl, there's been this thing about people like, we walk around the house naked all the time. Like, okay, I get it. Like, if you're comfortable naked, and like, I am cold nation, but I'm cold. My thermostat is on 68. I'm cold, but I'm not that fucking cold. I'm not that hot to be over here walking around naked. I got a long sleeve shirt on. I got some sweats. It's over here chilling in here just like how I like it. Okay? I got a blanket. Do it right there. I cannot be hot. But I'm not that fucking hot to be walking around butt ball naked all the fucking time. There might be times where you just like, let me take a shower, do a little, what is it, air dry. I walk around naked. But I'm like, come on now. But, she was like, well, Mike, you need to go talk to my sister and get on one accord. Oh.
Mike, you need to go talk to my sister and get on one accord and make sure that we're all really good. And y'all, you're taking her time away from me. And, she's jealous. She really wants to be with me. And these things we gotta do, Mike, okay?
So, that was just that. But we also then segue over and we see Portia going to Angela's rental property. Angela says, I invited Portia to my rental property. She was like, I was not. She's like, when a woman tells you that she will fuck your husband, you think I'm gonna invite her to my home? Yeah.
I decided to meet Portia at my rental property today because under no circumstances will I invite a woman who says she'll my husband to my home.
Period.
So she invited Portia over, and they basically come into a common ground after they had a conversation, and Portia apologized, and they're playing like tennis. It's real cute, but she sits down and she's just like, yeah, I appreciate coming to me and confiding in me about everything, and we we're in a good spot now. Angela just saying like, so what's going on with you and Shamia? And Portia's just like, you tell me. She said, well, Shamia confided in me about certain things, and she feels like, you don't what's the word? Reciprocate any type of respect or loyalty that she gives.
Felt like there was a time when you didn't want her to be a part of this group. That's not true. If anybody has ever vouched for her, it's been me. And I showed her
and there's no reciprocity within your relationship. And Portia's just like, oh, really? Like, no, that's... And she brings up the whole wedding. She brings up all these different things. And Portia starts to cry. Obviously no tears, but to each his own.
Want to be looked at as Portia's lapdog. Portia
starts to cry, and Portia just like, she feels that way. She said, this is too much. Like, I'm getting overwhelmed. So, I felt bad in that moment for her because, it do seem like they had a true friendship. But from my POV, their friendship was lopsided. Their friendship was not even. Portia was a housewife. Shamia was just a friend. And Portia, she makes these digs and she does these little subtle things, especially in the sneak peek from next week's episode. It's little things like that where I'm just like, you trying to play in my face and try to little girl me or little boy me or try to son me, and that shit is irritating. And if I was Shamia, at some point you're trying to tell her, I want to be treated equal in this friendship. I don't feel that. And she
That's suspicious. That's weird.
That would probably make someone to slap the shit. I would have been like, you know what? Thank you. I would have got up and left because I'm like, bitch, you're not about to sit up here and play in my face, right? Portia is throwing a, you know, what we call it, pamper Portia party.
So they're sending them out today. So I get invited. Of course! What better way to present Pampered by Portia than to have
Like, you know, she's selling these lingerie. All the girls look fly, look hot, look sexy. So I'm like, this is really nice, you know, cool. Shout out to that. You know, they're all gonna be meditating, you know, kumbaya, all these things, right? So at this party, you know, so you see all the girls just chilling, they're drinking, having wine. We see Kelly and Shamia go over to the side.
I went over to Angela's house. Okay. I was a little disturbed about what Drew said about you.
And, you know, Kelly basically tells Shamia, like, yeah, you know, I don't know what's going on, but, you know, Angela told me that she had a conversation with Portia, and, you know, there's certain things that have been, you know, happening. And she was like, this is how everybody is feeling about the situation.
And Angela having a conversation, and Angela said that Portia was in tears. About you.
Shamia just feels caught off guard. She just feels like, okay, why is Portia upset, or why is Portia, you know, creating a space of people to talk about our friendship? She said anytime someone brings up the friendship, it gets shot down. And Kelly's just like, yeah, you know, Portia seems, you know, this is what it is. I thought the girls were being messy, to be honest. At root cause, the girls are being messy. And the way that they bring back the information to Portia and Shamia is not the way that it should be. But to each his own. No bitch should be able to get in between your friendship. If it's a true friendship, you should be able to talk it out. And I think that was the root of it. So as Lauren's trying to lead this meditation, right, Shamia's spirit and her, she could tell she bothered. Everybody's laying down, covering their eyes, at peace. Shamia's just sitting up just like. So Kelly gets up and she goes sit with her like, are you okay? Like, you probably need to talk to her. Like, what's going on? Are you good? Shamia's like, girl, I don't feel, she said, if I feel comfortable to do that, I would do that, but I'm not doing that.
I don't feel comfortable doing that. And I don't feel peace, not especially not right by the person that's not bringing me peace.
So they all sit up and, you know, Lauren creates a space of people to, like, you know, address someone and just let them know how they make you feel in, like, you know, the space. Angela pops it off and just like, yeah, you know, Portia, I'm happy that we're in a good space. I'm happy that, you know, we came to a common ground. And Portia was like, yeah, definitely, blah, 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 blah. Kelly then, like, you know, I think it was Kelly or Cynthia, was like, hey, you know, Portia, Shamia, I think this is a good time for you both to, you know, talk about your friendship and talk about the things that are going on. And Portia's been basically saying, like, I mean, Shamia, I guess you got the floor, girl, because it seemed like you got more to say. And Shamia is just like caught off guard. She was like, you know, people are coming back to me saying that you feel some type of way. You cried when Angela told you certain things that had happened.
That allegedly brought her tears yesterday. It has not been communicated to me. You brought up that I didn't come to her wedding.
Mind you, another situation was when Shamia brought back the whole Drew situation saying, oh, well, I could pay for Pilar's school. And Shamia was like, that's not how it was. Shamia said that's how it was brought up. But Angela's like, that's not how it was brought up. Low-key, Shamia was kind of right. But she was like, well, you were crying, and, you know, I would think that my friend would come and call me, but she didn't. And it is sad to see the deterioration of this friendship because they've been knowing each other since they were little kids. But I think there have been plenty of signs that the friendship should have been done a long time ago.
You did not say that you only wanted me to be a friend on this show, how you want to be a housewife. Anything that these girls can tell you that I said about you, I've said it to you, and we've had a conversation privately.
Because after, and I'm going to put a clip in too, even Candy said, Portia has disrespected Shamia. Portia has let people talk about Shamia. Portia has dogged Shamia out, and nobody has said nothing.
Portia has dogged Shamia out, treated her like she doesn't even want to go to the girl's wedding. So to me, I'm like, you really need her as your friend.
Shamia has took it on the chin for what we know. She said they say stuff behind closed doors. Portia feels like Shamia is bringing this old stuff up and, you know, making it an issue now. And the bomb gets dropped because she was like, yeah, you know, Portia didn't come to my wedding, but, you know, we talked about that, da-da-da. And Portia's like, I didn't come to her wedding because we weren't cool then. And Shamia was like, we weren't cool. She was like, so when were you going to tell me this? Because this is the first time I hear about it.
Yeah, because a couple months or a month or two prior to her actual wedding, we were not speaking. I've apologized. One second, you did not tell me that.
So Shamia starts crying because she just feels like it seems like it's overwhelming because it's like years have passed since she's been married, and it's like now we uncover this on your side. You know, it all for me is like it's connecting the dots, and I'm happy to see that Shamia at Watch What Happens Live, she let them know, like, I'm not saying the door is closed on friendship, but it's at a stop right now. She has to make the move. She has to reciprocate some type of respect and loyalty because I'm not doing it.
Portia, I shut it down. How about not? You definitely tell us. But it's not reciprocated. How is it not reciprocated? No one has said anything about you in this group.
And shout out to her. At the end of the day, Portia has been a hater since day one. And everybody wants to talk about the whole Phaedra and Portia situation with Kandi. I always took the stance that I blame Portia on that situation more than I blame Phaedra. Phaedra brought it up, and Phaedra was wrong for what she said. She brought it up behind closed doors. Portia then ran with that for the entire fucking season and brought it up on the show. They could have left it off the show. But I blame Portia in that situation. And same thing. You see examples of how she treated Shamia. But like Shamia, you're not off the fucking hook because you enabled her to treat you this way. You created a pattern of behavior to feel second best to someone. And you let her play in your face. Come on the show. You defended her time and time again because of a friend. But like people are saying, right is right and wrong is wrong. You know your friend is wrong, but you still, in the beginning of this episode, brought Ralph in front of Portia to have some type of a kiki session to talk about Drew. But you're supposed to be trying to have a relationship with Drew. It doesn't make sense to me because I feel bad for her in the end of this episode, but in the beginning it nulls it out. Like you did some fucked up that shit, honestly. But that's how I feel on it. What do you guys think? I feel bad for Shamia, I really do, but you have put yourself in situations where you made yourself look crazy, all at the expense of your best friend Portia. And Portia basically gonna flip her hair and leave you in the dust, like she did time and time again. But y'all, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Brian Keith, LG, Black Butte. Bet you didn't know we the Holy Trinity. Now let a God stop a dollar, break your head here. Step into the room and get up in the bed. It's too sweet, that's cause I'm good. It tastes sour cause I'm better than the hood. Cause I get you hyper when I'm running all around cause I excite ya. Let me talk real quick. You can't even get with the shit. You wanna go toe to toe?